Yo, SNA fans, this is Super Ninja, your boy Super Ninja Austin here, and this is his latest wrestling news video. And this will be the first time I'll be doing and three videos in a row in one day, because I'm gonna be doing the wrestling news video part 23, and also I'm gonna be doing my other wrestling news video. My wrestling review videos with SmackDown and AEW Rampage later on tonight, and like which will be part 11 in episode 90 and 91. But this is going to be the 89th episode of the SNA podcast. And we're going to be talking about the latest wrestling news stories and rumors that you guys need to know on the wrestling news article on W in Wrestling Inc. Yeah, that's right, Wrestling Inc. We're going to start off with some Randy Orton news. It's backstage update on Randy Orton's injury recovery, timeline, WWE goals. And it says right here, according to this article, it's been a while since the WWE Universe last saw Randy Orton inside the squared circle. The Viper is reportedly getting closer on his long awaited return. According to Wrestling Observer letter, the report claims that Orton could be back in time for WWE Survivor Series 2023, which will emanate from the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois, on November 23rd, suggesting that he isn't planning on returning after all. The Legend Killer is reportedly dynamite to return to action and compete he's until he's 50, despite doctors him telling him he never wrestled again. Orton uh, Orton has been sidelined with a back injury since May of last year, with his last match being a tag team contest that saw him team with Matt Riddle to take on the Usos. His partnership with the King of Bros was massively popular then, but it's unlikely to be reunite or re re in re I mean and reignited. With a G in it. Reignited. My apologies. Reignited since WWE released Riddle during the company's latest wave of budget cuts. The latest update on Orton's return doesn't provide any details on creative plans that might be in store for him. It says right here, despite doctors supposedly pleading with Orton to hang up his boots, his father has been more optim, optimistic about his recovery. Cowboy Bob Orton commented on the injury last year, stating that he was confident that the rehabilitation process would take take care of the setback and allow his son to compete again. Of course, it remains to be seen if Orton does return to action in the coming weeks. That said, that said all will that said all will become clear. How many will be compete by the time Survivor Series has rolled around. And what do you think about this latest wrestling news about Randy Orton possibly making his return during Survivor Series, or excuse me, or right before Survivor Series, or even right after Survivor Series? Which one do you think is going to exactly be for in Randy Orton's case? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully he comes back soon because it's been some time. It's been a year and a half since he's been out of action. And I want to see it could be another year that he'll be out on another one. But yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen next with the Apex Predator slash the Viper. Okay, we're going to move on. We got some backstage update on WWE's reported international ex, expansion expansion for premium live events. And it says right here, WWE recently confirmed a brand new international event for August 24th with WWE's Bash in Berlin, which will which will mark the first time premium live event in Germany. However, that that might not be the last, as the company has been in negotiations a with a lot of different cities, different city governments around the world regarding future shows, according to the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter. I mean, Wrestling Observer newsletter. The idea is that WWE wants to gain significant money to premium live events going forward, with Paris being one of the cities that have been sorry, one more. That's the last time I'm going to be doing that. Cities have been in discussions. I mean, while it is not confirmed that an event will be taking place in France's capital, there has been speculation that next year's WWE Backlash event, which is typically the first PLE after WrestleMania, might 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 be happening in Paris. WWE already has two overseas shows confirmed for 2024 with Bash in Berlin and WWE's Elimination Chambers, which will be taking place in Perth, Australia. Meanwhile, it is expected that there will be there will there will be at least will be one taking place in Saudi Arabia as a continue a, con, a continuation of the deal WWE has with with their government with the company continuing its worldwide growth, and also the negotiations come off the back of several successful in international events with Clash at the Castle, Money in the Bank, and Backlash having all taken place outside of the United States in recent time. Nick Khan has been open open in the open in the past about wanting to expand WWE's reach glo- globally, with countries having recent paid recent paid for WWE to host events with the popularity of them, then giving back to the local econ, economy in the form of uh, uh, in the hotel stays, restaurants, and location bars, making it mutually beneficial. And what do you think about WWE uh, hosting putting more international premium live events? Hosting international premium live events, whether if it's in like like they're already been confirmed. They have money. I mean, not money in the bank. Elimination chambers, and Bash in Berlin in Perth, Australia, and Berlin, Germany. And then it's been rumored that either Backlash or another pay per view that's going to be between anytime after WrestleMania will be in Paris, France. And what do you think? What's the next location? And possibly another Saudi Arabia show, possibly being Crown Jewel, because 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 they're because they're because there's been because it's usual to have the Crown Jewel event unless they have a Super Showdown, but it looks like it's gonna be Crown Jewel when it gets to in the November time, unless they'll do a Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia, like in the summer of like in June or July of like in the June or July in 20 in 2020 in 2024. But yeah, what do you think about another international location for another overseas location outside of America? What do you think is WWE going to have another overseas overseas pay per view in somewhere outside of America? Y'all let me know and sound off in the comment section right down below. Which I hope so for the overseas for the for the overseas company, like overseas. I mean the overseas country. Hopefully, the overseas country will will host the upcoming WWE pay per views in the upcoming year in 2024. Possibly when MJF's there, where their scumbag could be there for make it a extra special treat. But let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next news. Now is CM Punk addresses WWE Survivor Series rumors, and it says right here WWE headlining to Rosemont heading to Rosemont, Illinois, uh, for for this for this year's edition of Survivor Series, and are wrestling fans are transfixed fixed on the possibility of former AEW World Champion CM Punk probably returning to WWE at the November 25th Premium Live event. In an interview with with Dan Bernstein and Lawrence Holmes on the 670 the score in Chicago. Punk was asked point blank if he'd be at Survivor Series in the Allstate Arena. See, he CM Punk said, "I." An arena. Punk said, "I think it's solid. I think it's and sold out, and so I think it's sold out." Punk said, I think tickets are hard to get. The former WWE champion had no intention of letting down WWE fans, but he's currently dealing with what he considers far more pressing matters, I should say. He said, "I have an injury in the family," Punk explained. "My dog Larry blew his dog ACL. I'm I'm literally I'm liter I'm literally just spending my time with him. I'm I know that sounds crazy, but he's he's my son, and I take care of him and treat him as such. This this would Corbin this would corroborate recent reports that neither WWE nor CM Punk were in talks with each other for a return at Survivor Series. Outside of a brief time as a co-host of Backstage, Punk has not wrestled for WWE since he infamously worked out the company that the night after the 2024 Royal Rumble. WWE had been hit has been hype hypo hypo hy, hy, hypothet hype hypo hypothesized hypo hypo hypothesized has been hypothesized as a possible landing place for the outside for the not for the out for the ousted the ousted the ousted AEW talent, but there have also been suggestions the Punk could join Impact Wrestling. Punk was recently backstage for Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory event in in Sir in Sir in Sir Circaro, Illinois, which I believe they meant Chicago, Illinois, unless that's like a suburban area in Illinois. That I can't know about that. I don't know about that, but it says it right here on this article. But I'll say Chicago, Illinois. So it won't be no rumblings and arguments on the web. So I'm gonna say that. And it says right here, Punk's longtime friend and former AEW producer Ace Steel also recently had a tryout as producer for Impact. But what do you think about CM Punk joining WWE? And do you think he's gonna join WWE or he's gonna join Impact Wrestling? And 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 then do you think by the time where Survivor Series is gonna take place, do you think gonna be same time he's gonna make his long awaited WWE return in nearly a decade? Or do you think that he's telling the truth and he's gonna take care of his dog Larry because he have a blown out ACL, and which is and it's also known as his son, which I know another wrestler that calls dog their male dog wrestler their son. But that's a story for another day. Y'all gonna have to figure that out when I talk about it. But y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to a former WWE star. Melina recalls multiple injuries she sustained in the ring. And it says right here, wrestling is a dangerous job that's led to some extreme injuries for the performers involved. Former WWE superstar, former WWE superstar, former WWE superstar Melina know knows a thing of reality, knows this reality of the energy. Melina knows this reality all too well, as she explained it during a recent interview with Wrestling Shoot interview. Melina, according to Melina, she tore her ACL, while performing a routine man, man routine maneuver in a tag team match. For furthermore, it's is one of the most painful things she's experienced during her during her rest during her wrestling career thus far. It was it was uh, off of something really. And Melina said it was off of something really small. It was during one of the live events for Raw, and I was doing my comeback in in a tag team match, and and it was just one little uh, pro, pro, private 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 private. So I hit a clothesline, and I think maybe I hit two, maybe two, maybe just one, but it's that pri- private, that private, and I think private, and I think maybe Toad stuck and it snapped during a during a turn. Just a private, a private. It's it's like you feel all of the little strings in your strings in your tendons, strings in your tendons. Just as soon as I felt that, I just knew. Oh, and all of a sudden, I couldn't. I couldn't take a step and just crumbled. Melina recalled and just crumbled. Melina recalled being able to walk forward with the injury. However, her leg completely collapsed, collapsed and collapsed whenever she tried to turn to the side. And that said, that the torn ACL wasn't the worst injury setback of her wrestling career, as also her 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 ankle during a different tag match, I should say tag tag match, and picked up an MCL injury that that caused her a lot of discomfort on on a flight. And then she said, "My broken ankle shattered in three pieces. I mean, so I think that that hurt more than the ACL. I think I torn my MCL when I was in the UK, in the UK, and there was a flight back. Some guy was getting his luggage on the airplane, and he dropped his bag on my knee, and I was like, why would you do that? If and what you thought about this? What you thought about this confession from the former WWE Women's Champion and former female member of the Eminem, yeah. But y'all let me know down in the comments below. And do you think that that guy who put the that guy that had dropped his bag into the airplane onto Melina's leg, which is her MCL side? Like, do you think he purposely did that, or did he purposely did that, or accidentally did that? According to what Melina just explained, it looked like he purposely did that, and he was carelessly trying to put his bag up in the shelf. But yeah, hopefully let's hope that Melina recovered it fully, like fully recovered from that incident, and also her ACL as well. And and wish her the best of luck of not that happen, not having those two horrifying experiences ever again as she goes forward into her life. And she goes forward into life, goes forward into her life, and also uh, and when she tours again, she don't have to worry about breaking her ACL or MCL. And and if that guy purposely do that, I hope he gets he gets the justice that he deserves. Like of he gets the justice that he deserves and gets punished for it one way or another. Just saying, because like nobody don't deserve to get their leg broken by a careless random dude dropping his bag nonchalantly right onto somebody's leg. Like nobody deserved that, and that's not a pretty sight in general. But anyways, let's move on to the next news now, as we got some AEW. We got an AEW star calls out Jake Paul to a fight a real boxer, and it says right here. And according to this news article, it says prior prior to getting involved with AEW, Anthony Ogogo was a professional boxer forced to retire in in his prime at the age of 30 after being registered blind. Ogogo still has a love for the fight in the fight game. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that he has taken some issues with the Paul brothers and like of Jake and Logan in the working in the world of boxing. Jake Paul has up to this point uh, accumulated 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 a 7-1 record in the in the ring as a fighter in his short career. However, the majority of the of the victories have come against former MMA com, com, MMA combat combatants with combatant with the one loss he suffered being at the hands of the only opponent he's faced with any true boxing experience. His last fight was a victory against former UFC veteran Nate Diaz or Diaz Nate Diaz back in August, but with Paul seeking to raise his profile in boxing even further. Agogo thinks it's time for the former YouTuber to face some legitimate competition, vol- 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 volunteering himself as tribute on X, formerly known as Twitter. Uh, now, now the like the likelihood the likelihood of that fighting. Likelihood of that fight happening sites somewhere between slim slim and none as given a go-go's visual impair, impairment. There isn't boxing mission. There's no boxing commission alive that would sac that would sanction such as bout at this point in the in time, but that isn't going to a stop this a decent not going to stop a decent bout of trash talk from occurring on social media in order to drum up some interest to whatever each decides to do next. And what do you think about this? And what do you think about this trash talk from Anthony Ogogo to those Paul brothers? And do you think he's gonna come out of his boxing retirement and face the two YouTube brothers slash boxing brothers, or do you think he's gonna remain retired and stick to pro wrestling and AEW? And and do you think that he could possibly jump ship to WWE, or do you think the Paul brothers are going to eventually go to AEW? But if that's the case, then that'll be a long time before they go to the All Elite promotion because Logan Paul signed a multi-year deal that he's going to stay with WWE for a while. And even if WWE has their budget cuts, one Logan Paul would not be one of those guys that's going to be going. Just saying. But but I think that Anthony Ogogo, if he ever gets if he ever faces the Paul brothers in a wrestling squared circle, my opinion will be on he's going to join WWE and wrestle Logan Paul in a big event like a WrestleMania or even a Crown Jewel or a SummerSlam, even like one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year. But what do you guys think? Y'all sound off in the comments below. And where do you think where this trash talks is going towards, and where this is going? Of course, yeah. I should say it like in a way that would make sense and make it proper. But anyways, now we got some backstage report on Impact Wrestling rebranding as TNA, and it says right here, it's no secret that when Jeff and Jerry Jarrett founded TNA Wrestling back in 2002, that many fans in the industries, fans and industries, well pundits alike alike uh, alike thought the venture at a new promotion was doomed to fail. Yet after multiple ownership changes and a brand overhauls, the company currently called Impact Wrestling still remains alive, producing regular weekly television shows in pay-per-view events. I mean, when TNA officially changed its name to Impact in 2017, many were pleased due to the jokes often cracked about the TNA initials. However, what was once old is set to be new again, as Impact announced at Bound for Glory. The TNA name and brand returns next year. The announcement was seen to create the desired amount of buzz with many laps. TNA TNA fans interested in giving the company another shot during its new era. During this new era, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, discussions about changing Impact back to TNA have been going on for months, with plans finalized a, a few weeks back. The the reported the reported race, ration, rationale for the re, rebranding is that much of Impact's existence, in- including its most popular periods, where under the TNA brand name, and the general feeling is that a large portion of the fan base still refers to impacts as impact as TNA. The announcement of the change of at Bound for Glory also also drew a notably large response from the live crowd including loud TNA chants. One also reports the Impact conducted uh, a a poll, a poll among many of its diehard devotees, and in the results said TNA was the brand name they preferred. And what do you think about this being the plan for months in advance? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And and what do you think about about the renaming of Impact's TNA? But 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 you but you decide in the comments below. I think it will probably be somewhat. They're probably gonna make it somewhat entertaining for fans to watch, like for be in competition, and I hope they succeed into that, Mark, because there've been rumors that Impact Wrestling is trying to bring in Will Ospreay when his contract expires in February of next year, and and yeah, do you think there's gonna be, like I said before, and I'll say it again, like from a couple of days ago, of course? Do you think they're gonna be more competition than AEW in WWE being the third company for going head to head with the other two very famous promotions? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next news now. Is we got some Baron Corbin news now. Is WWE's Baron Corbin opened up about origin of end of days finisher, and it says right here, according to this article, throughout the years, Baron Corbin's end of days finisher has been proven to be one of the most uh, de- the decisive be the decisive maneuver in WWE. That said, that said, while it's a move that the superstar has spent years uh, perfecting, its origins are quite surprising. In an interview with Insight with Chris Van Vliet, Corbin revealed that he discovered his signature slam by by ac- by accident before de- detailing how it come to be. It come to be. He said, at the performance center, we have a crash pad ring. You can go in there and try things. A kid named Sammy Callahan. I was I was around with around with him in the ring, and he does this thing where he does the thing he he springs around. I mean, springs off the bottom ropes and springs off the bottom ropes and catches you for a DDT, and and I and I was just messing him and I was messing with him, and he jumped and he jumped, and and I caught him, and I did the end of days on him. Did the end of days on him. We both sat up and looked at each other, and said, "Wait a second. What was that?" Corbin Lou was like, "Wait, what was that?" Corbin, and it says right here, Corbin sent a video of him performing the end of days to Billy Gunn after who had high praise for the move, and about about using it in one of his matches against the Shield, formerly in the Shield, formerly fortunately, no, I mean the Shield. Fortunately, Gunn let him keep it, and in the rest is history. I should say, keep it, and the rest is history. It was a complete accident, and just it's just something that's really kind of put me on the map. It's a cool, unique thing. He said it was an accident. He said it was it was it was the complete accident. Let me rephrase. I forgot to say Corbin said this accident, and it's been something that's really kind of put me on the map. It's it's a cool, unique first time ever seeing this finish, and protected it with every bit of my might. For a long time, Corbin's big maneuver was one of the most protected finishers in WWE. However, the streak of superstars never kicked out of it. In, ended at WWE's WrestleMania 38 event, thanks to Drew McIntyre, who defeated Corbin after following the match. Baron Corbin offered his offered his offered thoughts his blunt thoughts throughout. I think no blunt thoughts out. On WWE's decisions to stop protecting the move, revealing that he had zero input, which we talked about that on the video a couple weeks ago onto another video. But Baron Corbin's confession to confession too about this finishing move on the Inside podcast with Chris Van Vliet. Like it just came out of nowhere, just because he had fun and joked around with Sami Callihan, and he got some high praises of doing the maneuver by Billy Gunn when he was getting trained at the Performance Center. And what you thought about this being out of nowhere, like with just with this maneuver being all part of playing around with Sami Callihan in his time in WWE and NXT, in both men's time in NXT. Y'all let me know down in the comment section right down below, and we're gonna move on to the next. We got some Kevin Sullivan news now as he takes issue with creative shift on WWE Attitude Era star, and it says right here, Stone Cold Steve Austin aligning himself with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 17 is widely considered one of the most unexpected heel turns in professional wrestling history. Austin and McMahon had been at odds for the better part of 3 years, and through the two linking up was was an unfaithful was an unfaithful idea, not just not just to fans, but even to veteran wrestlers such as Kevin Sullivan. And he says right here, reflecting on on the into the infamous moment, Sullivan believed the creative decision backfired on WWE since Austin reverted back to being a babyface within a year of his character turn. Also, Sullivan thinks that Austin appeared uncomfortable during doing comedy routines and skits as a part of McMahon's faction. I would, and he says, I would have never turned Stone Cold heel, said Sullivan on his on his Tuesday Tuesday task with the Taskmaster podcast. He was playing he was playing a little goofy bango banjo, or not banjo banjo, not ban not bango. My bad. It's a J, not a G, obviously. A banjo, playing a banjo guitar, shaking shakes head, shakes head, brother, brother, banjo head, brother. People creatively do creatively because we see things different, right? But you can't make that type of mistake. There's some things you just can't do, Sullivan added. Austin himself has previously admitted that the heel turn didn't prove to be as productive as he had uh, hoped, as he hoped, referring to that decision as a bad idea during his 2014 Talk is Jericho interview appearance. Even JR felt like the promotion hacked itself into a corner by turning Austin, leaving the fans and the rest of rest of the WWE locker room in a confused state. And what do you think about? And what do you thought about Kevin Sullivan? Right? Is it Kevin Sullivan or Kevin Sullivan? What do you think that? What do you think of Kevin Sullivan's opinion on onto the into the famous Stone Cold heel turn in WrestleMania 17 when he took on The Rock for the WWE Championship, and he aligned it with Vince McMahon at the time. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And and yeah, I think it was probably unneeded because he was still a it was very much a fan favorite, and that was very unnecessary to do so, is to turn him heel. Like when he's white hot and very popular, like, and fans are looking forward to seeing him and to open up a can of whoop ass. Like, and you do not want to turn your badass baby face into the dark side because they're not going to be booing because they want to boo him. Like, it's for the fact that they do not want to boo him at all. They like like they want to cheer him and say 316, 316. whoop the heels ass, and also same with Vince McMahon, like and and open and open and then and and kick and then kick and open up, yeah, and do that, yeah. And what do you think about this? About this opinion from the former WWE star? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next. We got some Zelina Vega news now as she reveals one thing she is looking forward to with Carlito in the LWO. And it says right here, Carlito has ditched Caribbean cool aspect of his persona since returning to WWE as a part of the LWO. The downside to such a shift is is that him splitting a piece of not splitting. I thought that's I don't know. That doesn't have an of spitting the apple. I mean, is that him spitting a piece of apple into the face of people who don't want to be cool is no longer a thing. But Zelina Vega hope is hopeful that her new her new stablemate might eventually uh, uh, bring back alignments of his old character, even if just for pure no nostalgia of pure nostalgia. And this and then this is where she said on the bump that on a recent interview with the bump this past Wednesday, Zelina said, "I'm hoping that eventually we can do a double apple spit in. I think that'd be that'd be kind of cool." Vega told WWE's The Bump while discussing Carlito's return. But even if it never happens, Vega is truly excited about the potential of the LWO stable. She said, "I'm excited for Crown Jewel. I know Rey Mysterio is going to kill against Logan Paul. The LWO is just going to keep bringing ourselves to the next level." Vega continued, "I'm excited to get in there too, but the guys have been focused on making sure Ray defends the title, but I think I need to get a little those for myself. Mysterio Mysterio recruit resurrect Mysterio resurrected the old WCW stable the same night as his Hall of Fame speech earlier this year, joining forces with the joining forces with the Legado del Fantasma quartet of Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wild, Cruz del Toro, and Zelina Vega. Carlito become a member at Fastlane in recent WWE NXT call up. Dragon Lee has also been teased as as an ally or potential new recruit for nearly a month. The LWO in a few has been in a feud with the trio of Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. And what do you think? And what do you think about Zelina Vega's thoughts about doing a double apple spit to the face of their opponents? That's not cool. Yeah, like in some kind of a mixed tag team match in the future. Y'all sound off in the comments below. but I think that would be very cool because it would be a dream come true from the former queen of the former queen of the ring winner, because 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 it would be very great to see, like, because the OWO are very entertaining to watch right now, and especially with their feud with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. That's even like it just gets better and better, like, every time when they're on TV, like, telling the story into their rivalry. And and uh and do you think it's only a matter of time if Bianca Belair joins the Hurt Business faction with Bobby Lashley and her husband Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins? Yeah, sound off in the comment section right down below. But I think that'll probably be at the end of this year. At the end of this year, on my opinion, of course, where she joins and turns heel right onto and joins the group. As we go ahead to it goes to the 2024. But yeah, that would be very awesome to see a double apple spin on a mixed tag match with Carlito and Zelina Vega facing a any kind of mixed tag team, like any kind of alliance or faction that has a leading male and a leading female into the group that could do that they can do that maneuver on with at least the one off, of course, like whether it being on a on a special episode of Friday Night SmackDown, or even on a pay-per-view or premium live event of WWE's. Now let's move on to the next news. Now we got some Ahmed Johnson news. Now is this is very rare. Of Ahmed Johnson on which locker room com, complained he hits too hard, WWE or WCW, and it says right here, while Ahmed Johnson is mostly remembered for his WWE run, he also had a a brief stop in WCW, working under the name Big T, Big T, where he teamed with Stevie Ray as a member of Harlem Heat in 2000, and yet that almost didn't happen, as John as Johnson revealed while discussing his WCW run with in developmentally speaking. Stevie Ray called Ahmed Johnson had this to say onto the interview, saying, Stevie Ray called me one day and was like, I need you to come tag with me and be my tag team partner, Johnson said. And I was like, nah. At first, I I was I was through with it. I was through with it. But then I was just sitting at home eating a bonbons, getting fat, not thinking about going any anywhere else. But then Vince Russo called me, and I was like, okay, that they both called me. We went we went out to eat, and from that point, I I decided, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not I'm not in shape. I'm I'm out of shape. I I'm not really ready to go, but if you need me, I'm there. I'm there because Stevie and I had been friends for ages. We worked together, and everything and they work together in everything by Johnson's own admissions. He he was checked out for a bulk of his 6 months in WCW, which he blamed on him being out of shape, despite that there was one thing about WCW that he felt was a massive improvement over his time in WWE. It it didn't it didn't seem like too much bull in WCW. Johnson said, W and then he said, Johnson said, WWE guys were like, man, you hit me hard, or man, you're you're rough with me. Definitely not one guy plant complained. No one guy complained, man. I don't I don't know if that made the WCW guys uh, tougher, or if it just shows that the guys who were complaining in WWE were full of shit, or should I say, like what's been referenced on Madagascar, like it's a like the guys complaining in WWE were full of sugar honey iced tea. But anyways, what you thought about we thought of what Ahmed Johnson said about his time in WCW, about like when he turned down the offer of joining his best friend Stevie Ray, and and then and then what convinced him is when he was at home doing nothing, eating bonbons, and then got a call with Vince Russo. And and even though he was getting fatter, and like he said, like not fat shaming him, this is his word, of course. Like even though he said he was getting fatter and getting and losing his shape and his ring shape, like, but he managed to get back in the gym, start working out, and then making a comeback in the world of professional wrestling, except in WCW. And then he even admit that somebody in WWE claims that he hit him hard, but that he hit him too hard. Like, and then he said it looked like he was full of the S word. Like when he said when this particular wrestler told him that, he didn't name drop. He didn't name drop who this particular WWE wrestler was, but at this time he was. This was at the time he was wrestling in the early '90s, and the early '90s, mid '90s, when he was wrestling at the time, which I'm not sure who this person was. Like, but he said like this person was very weak as hell, and then he did not want to take a hit at all. He just and then he claims that Ottman Johnson was a stiff hitter. I mean, it's been reports that some wrestlers said that he was too much as a stiff hitter, and was a stiff hitter, and I'm not sure who these wrestlers were, but only time will tell. Like what exactly Ottman Johnson, who he's referring to, like if he's ready to share to the world on who exactly who he's talking to, but y'all let me know down in the comments below what exactly who he's referring to if y'all already know. Okay, we got some more Attitude Era news now, or not Attitude Era news, I should say. We got some WWE Attitude Era star Molly Holly discusses the evolution of women's wrestling. Uh, women's wrestling, women's wrestling in WWE has come a long way since the infamous WWE Raw episode in February in 2015 that uh, prompted the hashtag Give Divas a Chance movement, and the sequence the subsequent women's revolution in present day WWE. The former diva are referred as superstars. The women's titles are recognized as world championships, and women routinely headline shows. To someone like Molly Holly, who wrestled in the age of brawl and panties matches, brawl and panty matches. The current landscape of WWE is almost too good to be true. And this is what Molly Holly had to say on onto the onto the onto the exclusively told Wrestling MC recently. She said, "I'm I love like I love how the women's wrestling has evolved, and now it's changed, and it is the best it has ever been. You could put anybody, whether it's a popular character or even someone who's maybe not used used on TV as much. You could put anybody, any combination on TV, and they would give the top notch like premium live event quality. Everything. I'm just so impressed with the entire roster. Holly, like 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 Holly, who works as a backstage producer for WWE, acknowledged that that the that the of the depth of the women's roster a could be a double edged sword, since since many since many talent struggles for WWE's TV airtime. Sometimes they'll just be just like in a backstage segment, or someone passing behind the scenes, or like a tag match where someone's only in the ring for 2 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I'm I I wish they could really show me more, Hollywood. But on Raw, it's already a 3 hour show. There's lots. I mean, there's lots of there's lots of stories to tell. So that the only thing that I wish that everyone could have a 20 year. I mean, not 20, a 20-minute match every week. She continued, but really, the fact that these women, they they are capable of doing it. It uh, feel makes me feel proud. Like, wow, look how far they've come. And what do you think of Molly Holly's hot take on the women's division now, comparing it from her days back 20 years ago in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But I agree with what she's saying. Like, yeah, everything has changed for the better. Like, since when they did some changes and given the women's wrestlers a chance ever since 2015, when they did some changes, like when they started to upgrade and up to when they upgraded and then making the women's division even better and not be just not making the women barely have TV time and not getting just much of opportunities as the men do, of course. Excuse me. Yeah, I get and giving them more chances than men does. Like they have more matches, they have more opportunities and stipulation matches, like just like the men, and even main event premium live events, even like WrestleMania, which we got. Which we had a plenty few wrestlers who got a chance to main event the show of shows, and and what do you think of, yeah, like I said, what do you think about this? Sound off in the comment section right down below. We're gonna we're gonna move on to the next news now. It's former WWE star Elijah Burke discusses origins of uh, of Pope moniker, and it says right here from the NWA star Elijah Burke didn't tap into his Pope persona until he joined TNA in 2009. I mean, as D'Angelo Di, Di, Dinero, yeah, as D'Angelo Dinero. However, it turns out that Burke laid the the foundation for the character while working as a column a col- a column a columnist a columnist, I should say, a columnist for WWE.com during his years of the Stanford-based promotion. Uh, Speaking to Wrestling News Code dot Code dot, Burke revealed that would interact interact with the readers by referring to them in the same vein that a pastor would address as as apostle, and he said, Elijah Burke said, yeah, yeah. Oh, damn, it's getting cold outside. Your brother over there. I'm going to tell him. I don't know if you want to go. I'm going to go put my clothes on. It's okay if I stay here. I'm going to get money order. I just get some paper towel or whatever and come back. Okay. Because I'm going to get $115. I'll give him the $115. I'll still make a way for Halloween or whatever. Exactly. Might cut back a little bit, but that's fine. We'll still have something. Exactly. A couple things. As much as I could have had. You might not even $1, but they'll work itself out. Damn, what a big pile of shit back there. And all that pee in there. I just cleaned that. Gosh. What you want to do about it? What you want to do about it? Elijah Burke said, I oftentimes referred to my as the guiding line. You're her paragon of I don't walk in a virtue. Your host Burke said of his time writing the WWE.com column Hello. And I would refer to the people that responded to me in such a large amount. They would respond to me, and I decided decided to call them my my con congreg my congregation. Since I was calling them that, I was thinking, shoot, who I am to them. What can I call myself they're if they're my congregation? While going while going through a list of possible names, Burke ruled out the possibility of calling himself the the re, rever, the reverend the reverend calling him the reverend upon remembering others in the business who assumed the moniker, the assumed the moniker as as like Devon Dudley. At that point, the ideal name hit him like a lightning bolt. I should say, like a lightning bolt. There have never been a black pope, and thus the name in Black Pope was born. Burke went on to achieve a lot of notoriety as the Pope in TNA, following which he took the gimmick to other promotions such as OVW and the NWA. He has remained with Billy Corgan's promotion since 2019. And what you thought about this review, about this from Elijah Burke revealing that he was supposed to have this Pope Reverend gimmick in WWE, which he left, and he used the gimmick in TNA, and then he soon after used it, or not soon after, I should say, and then and when he joined Billy Corgan's NWA promotion, NWA's his promotion with the NWA, he used it there too, and that's where he won the National Wrestling Alliance's TV championship, which which I believe that which I believe he should have just used in the first place, because I'm not sure if there was no point of it would have been no point like of turning down the gimmick just for him to use it on, just for him to use it on TNA and the National Wrestling Alliance. But maybe he had no choice but to use it, because there was really no other option. But we're gonna probably gonna hear what's gonna be next for the former WWE star in this future into the Billy Corgan's promotion. And it says WWE Hall of Famer the Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase names his favorite managerial clients. And he says right here, in late 1993, Ted DiBiase was forced to retire from pro wrestling after sustaining several of neck injuries during a match for All Japan Pro Wrestling. When DiBiase returned to WWE in 1994, he took on the role of a manager of several superstars whom, per storyline, he owned the contracts of the list of wrestlers who joined his $1 million corporation, including his former tag team partner IRS, Bam Bam Bigelow, and and I and I Nicole and Icolia Volkov. and even Karma Mustafa, King Kong Bundy, and Psycho Sid, 123 Kid, Tatanka, and eventually the ringmaster Steve Austin. On the latest edition of the Everybody's Got a podcast, DiBiase remi- reminisced over his brief stint managing Austin, and while doing so, admitted that he knew the Texas rattlesnake was di- was this was destined was destined for greater things. I greater things. Where is it says sustained into greater things. And this word the $1 million man had to say. I saw that coming. How that coming? DiBiase said of Austin's ascent, ascension to megastardom. Obviously, Steve Austin has become a super icon, and I get it, but I didn't manage him very long, and to be honest, I didn't think I was going to because I could see what the guy had, and that he was going to shoot to the top. DiBiase con- conceded that a wrestler like Austin, known for his microphone skills, even in early '90s in his WCW days, never required a mouthpiece, other uh, unlike his unlike in his faction, and was therefore a bad fit with the $1 million corporation. The one superstar DiBiase felt benefited from working with him, King Kong Bundy. The the one I and he's the one I had fun managing was Bundy. I mean, he's a good guy, a fun guy. Although his time as a managing Austin short lived, and Austin is a short lived. DiBiase was involved in several high profile storylines during his time as a manager, including one that led to the WrestleMania 9 main event between Bigelow and Lawrence Taylor. Uh, DiBiase was also uh, instrug, instru, instrumental in putting together the Imposter Undertaker storyline in the late '90s. DiBiase would continue his managerial career in WCW, repping several wrestlers as part of the NWO, uh, which this stands for the New World Order. And what you thought about the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase's favorite clients being Stone Cold Steve Austin and King Kong Bundy, of him saying he was King Kong Bundy was a very good and fun guy, and Stone Cold Steve Austin was a very talented individual, and also And too bad it was a shame that he only managed him for a short amount of time, but it was for a good reason because he was getting ready to become the biggest star in the company, like of being the rattlesnake, the the bionic redneck. That's what he called himself too. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna let uh, y'all sound off y'all's opinion about this interview in the comment section right down below. We And then we got some WWE Hall of Famer uh, Kevin Nash on favorite match of his career, and he said, and this is what we heard this from the former WCW World Champion Kevin and former WWE champion and WCW champion Kevin Nash wasn't known for his in ring pro prowess, but Big Daddy Cool had plenty of memorable matches in both WWE and WCW over the course of his his Hall of Fame career. On a recent episode of his Click This podcast, Nash has was asked to name the favorite and least favorite matches, his favorite matches and least favorite matches of his career, and the specific reason of his picks. And Kevin Nash noticed on it as for his favorite bout, Nash chose the no DQ match against Bret Hart at the 1994 Survivor Series, where the two men battled for nearly 25 minutes until Hart scored the pinfall to capture the WWE Championship. The the match was significant for a few reasons. Nash had finally been dethroned after holding the WWE Championship for 358 days, the longest reign as WWE's top champion that entire decade. That entire decade. Also, the post match angle saw Diesel turning heel once again, leading to him eventually renewing his rivalry with Shawn Michaels. He said, "I also like the like in Omaha with HBK at In Your House 7." Nash added, listing some of his other favorite matches, saying, I like the Hell in a Cell with Hunter and at Bad Blood 2003. I like the Vegas. I like the Vegas. I think it has. I think it was Halloween Havoc in 1998 with Scott Hall, Kid, and Kid Sean Waltman, aka X Pac, and I heard some great house shows matches, great house show matches over in Europe. I'd go out and wrestle early against Sean. For as for the as for the match as for the matches the that he thought he thought sucked and were infamous for a variety of reasons. Nash chose the latter match in a ladder match against Triple H at 2011 TLC Premium Live event. And the TLC Premium Live event because he and Triple H was so involved with the creative of everything, and he said like I had never had a ladder match. Yeah, I was like 55 years old. I had 15,000 knee operations. We we got maybe an hour to walk out and put some things together. There were ladders we had there was ladders we had to use, and I'm not just a gimmick match. And I'm not just a gimmick match kind of a guy that pissed me off. And what do you think about a couple of lists from Kevin Nash's favorite matches and the matches he hated? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I think he had several great matches from the past 30 years of him being in the world of professional wrestling. And then we got some more news from the former WWE star Ahmed Johnson on locker room reactions to his early push. And it says right here from Ahmed Johnson onto the same interview. Ahmed Johnson had the approval bio rocket strapped to his back when he arrived in WWE in late 1995, dominating everyone in sight in route to his Intercontinental Championship victory in June of 1996. Understandably, Johnson was the target of envy among the wrestlers in the back who probably had reasons to dislike him for being Vince McMahon's hand-picked star. And Ahmed Johnson said this in an interview with the same interview with Developmentally Speaking podcast. Johnson opened up about the of the resentment he felt from his peers, revealing that he was forced to work a lot of job guys in his early months, since the top stars didn't want to share the ring with him, saying a lot of the guys were very jealous of me. Johnson said, I don't know why, but they were very, very jealous of me for the push I was getting by Vince. Vince didn't have anyone with that kind of intensity and animal magnetism. I felt like this. I felt like this is where I belonged, but the jealousy, it got to me, man. Like Johnson claimed that the fact that he quickly got over with the fans only intensified jealousy his peers felt towards him uh, since McMahon's plan was working to protection. I think I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He'd added somebody who was 350 pounds and could move move like a 200 pounder. That really impressed Vince. Johnson made a point to note that a specific peer, a late WWE Hall of Famer did not ex, exude jealousy toward him. The the only person who wasn't jealous of him. The only person who wasn't jealous of me and helped me out a lot was Razor Ramon, aka Scott Hall, of course. But he he would watch my matches, and when I go to the back, he'd be like, "Man, this looked good. That didn't look good. Like that didn't look good. Like he actually ridiculed my matches for me. Like, but what do you think about this confession from the former Intercontinental Champion of Scott Hall being the only guy that haven't been jealous of him, and 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 what do you think about about this confession about his peers at the time in the 90s, like, were very jealous of him when he was getting a push from Vince McMahon, when he was impressed that he was moving around like a 200 pounder, even though he was like 350 pounds at the time. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all guys to sound off the rest in the comment section right down below.
Look, you shaking right now. Because I'm wearing a sweater too, and I'm still cold.
We got some AEW's Chris Jericho news now as he discusses the career highlights he's most proud of. And wrestler, rock star, and actor and podcast host are just are just a few of the different titles that Chris Jericho could be given. Being a man of many different trades over the years, Jericho has worn many hats and done them well. And he was asked onto the Allison Hagdorf show, I should say. Hagendorf, I should say, the Allison Hagendorf show, which he's most of proud of. And Jericho said, having the diversity of just being able to do all of these cool things and having a great fan base that trusts me for that. There's a lot of things that I don't do because I don't think it's something that I be interested in. He said, I I don't I do things for the creative element and for the experience. I do I don't do I mean I don't do anything for money. Among all his ventures, the Jericho Cruise is the one of the that stands out for him, as he personally took a gamble to bring it to reality, and it has ultimately paid off. And Jericho also said this. I think one of my favorite things what I've been able to do is the Jericho cruise. That's been cool. He said we did the Kiss cruise in 2015 with Fozzy, and as soon as we docked, I called my manager, who's my partner on the cruise, and said I've got an idea. I think we can do this. Jericho's first cruise official set seas set seas in 2018, bringing professional wrestling to the wide open ocean with the help of an invention. He trademarked. Jericho's team uses giant cubes of water under the ring to keep things safe for the performers, and the concept has proven to popular, having done was proven to be popular, having put it on another 3 cents then, with a fifth fifth already set for 2024. Jericho has blended a lot of his passion on these adventures, as the Jericho cruise has has lived has live rock has live rock have live rock shows, I should say, live rock show comedy sets, podcasts, and of course wrestling, which included an episode of AEW Dynamite in 2020. And what do you think about Jericho crediting his cruise of being a big time success into the mainstream media? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But we're gonna move on to the next. We're gonna move on to the next news now. As we got some AEW, we got some Jeff Jarrett news now. Is AEW's Jeff Jarrett on when he knew the digital age of wrestling had arrived. And it says right here, according to this news article, Jeff Jarrett has seen professional wrestling undergo a variety of changes throughout his nearly 40 years in the industry. That includes its entry. That includes his entry into the digital age, which he credited to the 2018 independent wrestling event at All In on the latest episode of his My World podcast. More specifically, he shared his belief that the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match between Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes, which they're now on WWE, kick started it all, thanks to its promotion via digital platforms, I should say, with a plural, and instead of traditional promotional means. Jeff Jarrett said that to me was the flag in the ground. Jarrett said, yes, they had New Japan and Ring of Honor, but still, I think even the guys would say it. Their their buzz was more off of the New Japan Bullet Club than it was Ring of Honor. So that stars were really aligning. But you take that Cody Aldis storyline, build around a title that of had a lot of ups, but also a lot of downs. When you had the right talent at the right time with the right show, the the right time of year, traditionally speaking, it was a big deal. And for me, and he said, and for me to get to be a part of it as a talent, I just thought it was really cool. He added in, and when you kind of saw the vibe and the electricity that's where my brain went. Okay, the digital era has arrived because people come to the arenas to see this match. It was, hey, let's go watch wrestling. It was no, let's go see this match, and I'm not dis- discounting any other thing on the show, but they paid to see that story, no doubt, and it was cool. And what do you think about Jeff Jarrett's comments onto All In back 5 years ago with wrestlers from Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and wherever wrestler that was out there that was outside of WWE, whether they never wrestled for WWE before or even formerly used to wrestle for WWE, and including he even praised this Nick Aldis versus Cody Rhodes match for the National Wrestling Alliance World Championship when they were on the National Wrestling Alliance. Before both men went to WWE, well, Cody Rhodes went back to WWE, and Nick Aldis came to WWE as SmackDown General Manager. And like I said before, like, do you think that when Cody Rhodes finally finished the story, do you think Nick Aldis will probably have a match with Cody Rhodes, like finally wrestling in WWE for the Undisputed Championship? Only time will tell, and y'all let me know down in the comments below. But anyways, we're gonna talk about like what you thought about Jeff Jarrett's comments into the matter and into All In made professional wrestling relevant once again. Like All In with the likes of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Hangman Adam Page, Cody Rhodes, and then bringing more wrestlers like Jericho and Nick Aldis, and I believe some couple other wrestlers from New Japan and Ring of Honor, which I cannot think of right now, but yeah, y'all get the point. But y'all let me know down in the comments right down below. We got some more news now is why WWE's Booker T thinks Impact / TNA would be a good landing for CM Punk, a landing spot for CM Punk. And it says right here, in a recent episode on his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T delved into the reason why CM Punk, who was recently seen backstage at an Impact show, might make a wise decision by joining the promotion. And this is what Booker T had to say. I look at it like this. I look at it like this. If CM Punk was to go to Impact Wrestling and be a part of that crew down there, I think it's definitely something that could work. I really do I really do, just because I think it's a lot of young guys down there, just like at AEW, that could learn and maybe look towards CM Punk for some guidance or whatever, like said Booker T. Booker T pointed out one aspect that could be the center of attention if CM Punk goes to Impact Wrestling / TNA. His in-ring work, the Hall of Famer contended that as wrestler age, their ability to perform at their peak tends to diminish. And this might be scrutinized if Punk were to appear in Impact. And Punk said, and the 5-time WCW champion said, I also think about with CM Punk going to Impact Wrestling, unlike AEW, unlike WWE, his wrestling is going to be more spotlighted on just because it's smaller crowds. So everything is going to be seen. You're not going to be able to hide anything in an arena like that. And one thing about getting older, you are going to lose a step. That's just the way it is. Just the way it is," said Booker T. He added that he wouldn't want to be in such a position where his in-ring work is highlighted. And what do you think about Booker T saying he should go to Impact Wrestling for the younger guys, like he did, like with the younger guys learning a thing or two from him, like some of the guys in AEW did from CM Punk being there for the past 2 years, and also, do you think that he's just saying that? What do you think about Booker T about saying he should go to Impact? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Hey, yeah, okay. No problem. But what do you think about Booker T's opinion? No, Samson, don't go over Uncle Super Ninja Austin's laptop. Dang, no. Sit out. But anyway, But yeah, this is where, but yeah, what do you think about Booker T's opinion? Like, do you think he's serious about him going to Impact Wrestling, or is he just trolling online, just saying that so he won't blow any covers that WWE has planned if he returns to the WWE, of course, which that remains to be seen either way. Like, yeah. But we're gonna move on to the next. You got any more good news now? We got.
Hello?
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 Yeah. Hi, Daddy. You at home?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Now you can get some peace.
Sure do.
We're glad to hear that, Daddy.
Oh, tell Grandpa he didn't happen to see any packages by the door.
He's going to get his car. He's going to get his car. What's it called? Door. Estimate on his car door.
Can you tell Grandpa he didn't happen to see any package by the door?
Huh? Oh. I said Louis had to go get his car door.
Okay, we got one more news now.
Get it fixed.
We got one more news.
Yeah.
We're gonna end this video with is Chris Jericho. takes the Powerhouse Hobbs
I'll ask him in a minute.
beat down on AEW Dynamite. Oh wait, Mama, make sure to tell him.
All right.
Can you tell him that he's seen something by the door?
Bye-bye. I'll ask him.
Just tell him, yeah, when he calls back. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. But anyways, y'all let me know down in the comments below. But anyways, we're gonna end this video with when I see YMI on Chris Jericho talks about Powerhouse Hobbs beat down on AEW Dynamite, saying right here on the October 10th edition of Dynamite, Chris Jericho was able to mount little offense in his match against Powerhouse Will Hobbs, ending up crushed by the former AEW TNT champion from this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Jericho was in a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette. Or should I say, Chris Jericho sat down with Renee Paquette to discuss his condition after the match. He said, "I can't remember ever having a beatdown like that." Jericho said of his mauling at the hands of Hobbs, and he also said, "I'm still feeling it. Obviously, ribs are still hurting. I think it was 7 or 8 consecutive spine busters and 2 or 3 world's most dangerous slams. I think the thing that's hurting the most for me is my ego." Jericho say he didn't see the beatdown coming, with Hobbs attacking the former world champion at the bell and not letting up for the entirety of the match. The loss has led to some self-reflection for the Painmaker, who wonders if he's still got enough to defeat someone younger and stronger like Hobbs. Jericho believes that it might be time for him to seek vengeance, not just against Powerhouse Hobbs, but the whole entire Don Callis family. Jericho has a lot of friends too. Jericho warned, and some of those friends are even bigger than Will Hobbs. Jericho could possibly be talking about AEW's Paul White, with whom Jericho formed the Tag Team Jericho and a tag team in WWE. White has made occasional wrestling appearances in AEW, last appearing at AEW All In at Wembley Stadium during the pre-show, where he and Anthony Ogogo and Grado ran off, and Grado ran off Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal. And do you think it's going to be Jay? Do you think it's going to be Jay Lethal? Not Jay. Paul White. My apologies. Do you think it's going to be Paul White that's going to team with Jericho against the Don Callis family? Possibly a tag team match with the new returning Jerry Show against Don Callis family's either Konosuke Takeshita or Sammy Guevara, teaming with Powerhouse Hobbs. But I'm going to let y'all to be the judge of that in the comment section right down below. It's only a matter of time, like you teased this. And yeah, we recently saw Paul White being in a fishing segment with Adam Cole and MJF, with MJF teasing that he's going to turn on of Adam Cole. But when they got a bite, a bite of a fish, and it was a big fish, but it wasn't a domestic whale. Like it was the 7 foot. It was the 7 foot even 385-pound whale that came straight from Connecticut, I believe. Which y'all obviously know what am I referring to when I say it came from Connecticut. No, spit that out. No. Anyways, yeah, that's my list of on the wrestling news. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. And what was your favorite? What was your favorite news story out of on this list from Wrestling Inc. And y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna. And then I guess I'm gonna end this video right here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure you leave a huge thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, click the bell notifications so you won't miss when I upload my upcoming videos, which will be coming up later on in the evening or tonight, I should say. Which I'll be doing my SmackDown review and my AEW Rampage review, which will be part 11 of doing this series. And we're going to be talking about what's going to go down on tonight's Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage, and what's going to head next into the both respective shows in WWE and World Wrestling Entertainment and All Elite Wrestling, which will be my 90th episode of the SNA podcast and 91st episode of the SNA podcast. And I understand why I said SNA podcast so much, but I guess I've been so excited of keep doing these videos lately, including doing more wrestling news video more often. And I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the 89th edition of the SNA podcast, Wrestling News part 23. And I'll see you guys later on tonight on Friday, later night on the evening when SmackDown and Rampage has gone to a close. But speaking of going to a close, I guess I'm gonna close this video out right here, right now, and I hope y'all have a great Friday afternoon, and I'll see you all later on tonight. In the meantime, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out of the web. See you. Bye-bye.